This forecast is sponsored by Atlantic Edge Credit Union. Visit aecu.ca or drop by one of their 16 branches across Newfoundland and Labrador to experience banking that puts you first. So the big story is certainly going to be this cold front sweeping across Newfoundland and Labrador between tonight, tomorrow, and really late tomorrow evening. That is going to bring some rain and wind for tomorrow into tomorrow night, and perhaps even some wet snowflakes in some areas too. And don't forget about the cool down, which again is all to do with the cold front swinging its way on through. So we look at the forecast for tomorrow in Labrador. Temperatures only between about 4 and 6 for afternoon highs. Looks like some snow is on the way for parts of Labrador tomorrow night. Meanwhile, on the island, we are going to be seeing temperatures in the east warm again, mid to upper teens, but the bottom going to fall out of those temperatures tomorrow evening or earlier, depending upon where you are. Further west, we are looking at rain showers tomorrow. The high terrain will likely see the rain ending as some wet snow tomorrow night or early Friday morning, something to kind of keep in mind. Now, if you're on the Northeast Avalon, tomorrow's not looking too bad through much of the day, although it's going to be rainy and quite windy, especially midday, winds gusting 50 to 60 early in the day, maybe even 70 in the morning, before slowly slacking off in the afternoon. But we're going to wait for those temperatures to drop off, and they will. Looks like around 9 or 10 p.m. we're going to see that drop, and it'll be way more noticeable come Friday morning than what we're going to see tomorrow. Way more akin to what Labrador is seeing this evening. 2 degrees in Wallbush, 2 degrees in Churchill Falls as of 8:39. On the island, it is downright spring-like, but it's not exactly dry. Look at those wind chills. -1 in Churchill Falls. Wallbush feels like -2 right now, finally beginning to feel like the season. We look at the map and we can see the cool air is settled in nicely across parts of Quebec, Ontario, getting into parts of Manitoba and the north. Look at Resolute, -13. So the cold air is there. Iqaluit is at 0. We take a look at the satellite and simulated radar imagery. We can see where the rain is from near Cartwright all the way down to east of New York and Washington along that frontal boundary. And that cold front is starting to drive the rain towards areas of western Newfoundland this evening. As we take a look at the radar imagery, now this is the live radar imagery. As of 8:35, we can see a lot of the rain still out in the Gulf, but we are beginning to see that rain arriving on the Port-au-Port Peninsula and in and around the Corner Brook area, especially off to the west and north. So as you get out towards the outer edge of the Bay of Islands and then further north, as you go towards Trout River and then further north even there, towards Norris Point, Woody Point, Rocky Harbor, we are beginning to see that rain. And same thing out on the Port-au-Port Peninsula, Cape St. George. Looks like it's raining there. Stephenville, as of 8:40, it is dry for you. We take a look at future radar and clouds. There's the front working its way through. That's going to bring some heavy rainfall overnight and tomorrow to areas of central and western Newfoundland. But here we are stopping at midnight. By midnight, potentially some showers, maybe some thunder showers around the Canaga Peninsula area. As we get into the early morning hours of Thursday, there's the area of low pressure right in the center part of the island. That's going to enhance the rainfall around the low. So we are going to see some areas of heavy rain developing tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening for parts of central and eastern Newfoundland, and that rain is going to fall heavily in spots. We need a lot of rain on the Avalon. I don't know if we're going to get it, but look at that. Snow showing up in the higher terrain tomorrow evening of the Long Range Mountains and then the higher elevations of interior parts of Newfoundland. The lower elevations, Corner Brook, Grand Falls, Windsor, Buckens, Millertown, I don't think we're going to see any flakes, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. But if we are going to see any accumulation, it's going to be relegated to the higher terrain. But Friday midnight, so tomorrow night midnight, look at that rain-snow line. So we may see a few flurries trying to fly in the Grand Falls, Windsor area. I was a bit more skeptical on that earlier in the week. I still am, but we certainly may see it. Temperatures are just kind of cold enough. Friday morning, waking up, clearing for some areas, although showers may persist throughout the afternoon. Northeast coast still seeing some rain come Friday morning. Now, what that doesn't show you is the wind. It's going to be a little bit windy as we start the day tomorrow. Notice in St. John's, these are the wind gusts, 39 kilometers per hour, 65 in St. Albans tomorrow morning, 57 in Stephenville. And throughout the day, we're going to watch this area of high winds slip eastward. So look at noon, gusting 73 in Placentia. Clarenville, same thing. And oftentimes, this model underpredicts the wind forecast. By evening, Most of those high wind speeds have exited eastern Newfoundland, but it shifts toward the northern peninsula. St. Anthony, northeast 86 tomorrow evening at 6 p.m., and those northerly gusts are going to take hold tomorrow night and as we go into Friday. And notice by Friday morning, we're seeing Twillingate gusting to 40 after a bit of a brisk and blustery night, and the wind speeds will calm down on Friday, mainly during the second half of the day, after what's going to prove to be a very windy Thursday night and Friday as that cold front moves through. Now, we could use a lot of rain on the Avalon. I don't think we're going to get it with this area of low pressure and this front, although parts of the Burin Peninsula, Conagra Peninsula, northern side of Fortune Bay, 40 to 50 millimeters of rain locally certainly possible. Terra Nova, 23 mils in the forecast for you, but right now only 4 mils in the forecast for St. John's. Not saying that's what we're going to get to a T. If we get a heavier downpour, it could be more than that. Obviously, we're kind of hoping for more than that. Rainfall forecast for Corner Brook showing up as 50 millimeters. That might be a little overzealous. I'm looking at a computer model here. This is the raw output sometimes. What happens is the model will see like an area of very heavy rainfall and then inflate that area's totals, and that may not necessarily be correct, but we'll see if you're in Corner Brook semi-rainfall totals by the time tomorrow rolls around, or tomorrow afternoon, or I should say Friday morning rolls around. Now we look at the future radar for Thursday, 8 p.m. for parts of Quebec. That's Hudson's Bay there. What I want to show you here is this area of snow pushing its way into Labrador West come Friday morning. So Friday morning, folks from Wabush, Lab City, just west of Churchill Falls, waking up to some light snow. The first, I think, accumulating snow of the season on the way. That kind of begins to taper down or change to showers by midday Friday, and then we are looking at, I guess, warming conditions during the second half of Friday. Snowfall amounts not looking super impressive, but you know, we are talking tomorrow night into Friday morning. You know, a few centimeters not out of the question. Looks like in the Wabush area, computer laying down between 2 and 5 and 5 and 10. I would hedge 2 to 5 or 1 to 2, but hey, if you're in the higher terrain, higher elevations, yeah, not out of the realm of possibility to pick up some snow. So certainly kind of keep that on the top of your mind if you are going to be traveling in Western Labrador early Friday morning. On the island, again, earlier in the week, it was noted that there may be some snow, and that is true. There may be some snow, but it's limited to the peaks of the long-range mountains, the Lewis Hills, Blow Me Downs. Certainly may see a little bit of snow, but we're not talking a lot. But again, it's going to be in the higher terrain. You can see here, as you get to the northwest of Buckens into the hills, sure, a couple centimeters certainly possible if it comes down heavy enough. But Buckens, Millertown, you may get some flurries, but I do not think we're going to see any accumulation. Maybe just west of Badger there in the higher terrain along the TCH. And same thing for parts of the Bay Route Peninsula. There's some high terrain there. You may get a little bit of snow, but that really is about it. Now, what are we talking about temperature-wise? Well, what happens? Here we are. Here we are this evening. As we go through time, we'll see temperatures tomorrow morning. 8 degrees in Cowhead, 5 degrees in Cartwright, 0 in Labrador City. As we begin the day tomorrow, going to be a cool one. There's the cold air spreading across the island by midday. So 8 degrees in Grand Falls, Windsor at noon. Bonavista is 17. St. John's, it's still 16. And watch that cold air slip eastward by midday, or excuse me, by mid-evening, by 6 p.m. Down to 5 in Grand Falls, Windsor with strong northerlies, but still 16 degrees in town, 12 in Trepassey, but that quickly gets erased come Friday morning. And as we go throughout the day Friday, temperatures across the entirety of the province are going to struggle to get above 5 or 6 degrees. Going to be a very kind of brisk and fall-like day. What about the weekend? Well, if you're going to be out and about the weekend, we get a decent return to temperatures back to the teens on Saturday after that cool down tomorrow, and that's on the island as of now. Not looking at a lot of rain over the weekend. In fact, maybe a few showers here and there, and then peaking up into Labrador. Temperatures over the weekend, or excuse me, as we go into Friday and Saturday, are going to be a little warmer in some areas, but it looks like in Lab West, temperatures actually fall on Saturday for only a high of 3 degrees under those cloudy skies. And beyond that, I know a lot of folks are hoping for kind of a warming, or excuse me, more damp weather pattern. But it looks like we're going to get under a blocking high after the weekend, which is going to keep things dry at least through the middle part of next week.